Am I the asshole for calling the police on my son's friend? My son, Brian, 13, has a friend, Tom, 13, who I really dislike. To put it in the gentlest possible terms, Tom has never been disciplined a single day in his life and is under the impression that there are and never will be any consequences for his actions. However, since Brian is on the spectrum, very few other children want to hang out with him. I have tried to tell him that Tom is using him for his Nintendo Switch, but he is unable to process that. Every time Tom comes over, he'll hog the Switch to play one of the games, oftentimes a single-player game. Over the weekend, Tom came over for a sleepover. As usual, he raced right up to Brian's room, turned on the game, and sat there for hours. He played until 3 a.m. on Sunday morning, and then he woke up at 10 a.m. and, without joining us for breakfast, started playing more. At around 12, Brian had reached his limit and told Tom that it was time to go home. He was tuned out completely. Brian then came to me asking what he should do, and I told him to be more assertive. An hour later, he came back basically in tears, saying that no matter what he did, Tom was just ignoring him or giving him a short, a little more answer. I walked in to find Tom, as usual, mouth breathing at the screen. I told him I had to drive him home, and Tom responded that he'd walk. It's like 2 miles. Then I told him that he had to go home, and the kid legitimately looked me in the eyes and said, "No, I don't think I will." He actually tried to pull off the Captain America line. I then called his mother, who didn't pick up. Finally, I unplugged the machine from the wall, causing his game to turn off. But he attached the controller to the handheld part and sat on Brian's beanbag chair, again, impervious to anything we said. At my limit, I went into the other room and I called the police. Since we live in a small town, the police officer, a good friend of ours, came right over. He walked up to Tom and said there had been complaints of trespassing, which Tom responded by saying he was invited. The officer looked at me and I assured him that we had asked him to go home. Then the officer asked if he wanted to be charged with misdemeanor trespassing. Tom finally got his act together and was taken home by the police. But on his way out, I told him that he was never going to step foot in my house again. I told him not to talk to Brian at school and not to text Brian privately. An hour later, Tom's mother called me and shrieked over the phone hoarsely about how horribly I treated her son. I stayed calm and told her I called her, but she said she was busy in a meeting and couldn't talk. I guarantee that Tom fed her some lie-filled story, but I didn't have the energy. I told her to get her shit together as a parent, and I just hung up on her. I have received dozens of anger-filled texts, both from Tom's mother and numbers I don't know. I wouldn't care what those trashy parents think, but I wonder if they have a point. So, am I the asshole for calling the police on my son's friend? Am I the asshole for not taking my husband to the hospital after he lied to me? I am a 28 female and my husband is 26. We have been married for 4 months. I returned to work right after we got back from our honeymoon. My husband thinks I went too soon and wanted to extend our honeymoon or plans for a summer trip for us, but since we have to pay rent, electricity, and internet, we needed to earn a living. I work at a restaurant right across the street. My husband would call me during work hours and complain about missing me and feeling bored. I get home by 6 p.m., so I understand how he feels since He can't start working until September. He called me one time from work asking if I could come home to watch a movie together, but I said I was busy. He complained, then ended the call, then called me back 30 minutes later telling me to get home ASAP because he injured his arm and couldn't move it. I freaked out and went home quickly to find it was actually a lie to get me to skip work so I could watch the movie with him. It really pissed me off. He did it again days later, saying his car broke down and I needed to come pick him up. Then I found out he lied to me to get out of work so he could take me out for lunch. I spoke to him about this and told him to stop doing this, and he apologized and said he won't repeat those shameful acts. 5 days ago, he called me while I was working, telling me to come take him to the hospital because he fell from the stairs and injured his ankle. I hung up on him thinking he was lying. He texted me, but I ignored him since I had a ton of work. 20 minutes later, his brother called and was mad, saying he just took my husband to the hospital for his broken ankle and I should have responded to my husband's calls and texts. I went to the hospital and my husband was very upset. I tried to explain I thought he was joking, but he said, "Save it. I don't want to hear about how you thought I was a liar." Then went on about how hurt he was that I didn't help him in time of need and vulnerability. He told me to go back to work since it was so important and since I didn't want to leave it to help him out. He started a big argument over this, and I told him due to his previous lies, how was I supposed to believe him now? He said he didn't even need to tell me and I should have known something was wrong. It's been days and he's still upset and asked his sister-in-law to stay to help him out. I felt horrible and not like a supportive wife at all. Okay, someone told me I should add this piece of information to the context, and here it is. My husband has suffered from mental health issues in the past year or so. Hence, he can't work till September. He's doing a lot better now compared to what he dealt with in the past, but he does still suffer from a number of symptoms, one of them being anxiety. He doesn't know anyone in the town we live in, just his brother that he sees once or twice a week. He says he hates staying home by himself and wishes he could have me stay all the time. So, am I the asshole for not taking my husband to the hospital after he lied to me? Am I the asshole for pointing out my aunt has a favorite kid at a family dinner? My Aunt Mara, 45 female, has 2 kids. Reese, 13 female, and Laura, 9 female. Mara has always clearly preferred Laura. Reese always knew it too. My aunt always makes sure Laura can do the extracurriculars she wants to do. She lets her drop out at any time, even if she's paid in advance. She gives her the birthday she wants every single year. And in general, she's more affectionate and interested in what Laura is up to. With Reese, she pushed her into dance when she was 5 and made her to do dance for 4 years. Reese never liked dance and never seemed to fit in. Mara hated it. She would ask her why she couldn't put more effort in, etc. That she had always wanted a daughter who did dance. I, 18 female, was around there a lot because Aunt Mara babysat me for my parents while they worked, and then I just had to wait at her house until my parents got home so we could save on electric bills and stuff. I once asked Aunt Mara why Reese couldn't do something she wanted to do, and she told me that they didn't have the money for it. Reese never got to do another one, but Laura has several. Soccer, dance, art, and swim right now. but she's also done basketball, photography, gymnastics, which really upset Reese because she always wanted to do gymnastics, guitar, piano, drums, and singing. Aunt Mara also discards Reese's plans and has made her cancel to look after her sister, but also made Reese skip her plans when Laura has them, and they conflict. In the last year and a half, Reese has just decided to say, fuck everyone. She's definitely weighed down by it all. We talk about it because she said I'm the only one who acknowledges it, but I have definitely noticed. We were all gathered for a family dinner Sunday. It was my grandparents' birthday this week, so the family decided to celebrate Sunday, and Reese was in a really bad mood. Aunt Mara told her she was bringing down the mood, and Reese got up and left the table. Aunt Mara said she didn't know what was up with her, but she's always acting like the whole world is out to get her. I mentioned that maybe if she didn't show such blatant favoritism, Reese would be happier. My aunt and parents were pissed I would bring it up. My grandparents asked what I meant. My parents told me it wasn't the correct time or place to bring it up, and I embarrassed Aunt Mara. So, am I the asshole for kissing my friend's brother without his consent during a truth or dare? Yesterday, I was supposed to spend the night at my friend's house with some of my classmates, and we were playing truth or dare. There really is no reason for us to choose truth since we already know a lot about each other, so we mostly just went with dares. It was pretty fun, and we had some weird challenges. I was sitting next to my friend's brother, and when it was my turn, a classmate challenged me to kiss him. His sister immediately told my friend to change the dare, and so she did. To be clear, her brother did not say anything when he heard the dare and just laughed. So he definitely looked like he was okay with it, right? Well, wrong. Because after I kissed him, he told me, WTF am I doing? And looked like he was really grossed out by it. Honestly, I was offended and asked why he was so grossed out by me kissing him. I am actually a pretty okay looking girl, and even if I wasn't, there was no reason for him to act like this. He ended up leaving the game, and my friend told me that what I did was wrong on so many levels, and to get out of her house. My other classmates didn't say anything, so I think they were on my side, but didn't want to participate in this argument. I will ask them when they get back home. Anyways, I did end up leaving. So, do you guys think I was the asshole here?
Không chứ cứ cái hôm mà con thưa